Yo, are we back? So we are about halfway through the final season 10 already. The mid-season update just dropped last week, and I gotta be honest, I have played so much more this season, just halfway through, than I think I did all of season 9 put together. If you check my world tour progress right now, you would see that I'm sitting at just under Diamond 1. I'm almost to Emerald, and we still have 2 months left to go in the season. And keep in mind, I said at the end of last season in How to Save the Finals that I wouldn't be buying the Battle Pass unless Embark genuinely earned my business again, and I've stood on that principle. If you take a look up right here, that Battle Pass is still unowned. I have not bought it, and yet with no XP boosts, the Battle Pass is almost finished on my end, and I've almost earned my Emerald Guns for the season as well. But what about Season 10 is so drastically different from Season 9 and 8 that's making me want to play this game so much more again? Well, let's just go through topic by topic from How to Save the Finals and see what exactly is different this season in comparison to the last two, and ask ourselves, has Season 10 redeemed the finals? Several of my complaints for the past few seasons have been that Medium is the unloved beaten stepchild of this game, and they've rarely done anything to dissuade me from that opinion. This season they're kind of cooking though. Medium has been given a buffet of shit to enjoy this season, from the Shockwave being the best freaking specialization to have come out on the medium class, the crossbow being a very, very fun solid weapon that they turns out have not nerfed into the ground yet. Sure, it got a little rebalancing tweak to the damage ranges, but I mean, shit, that's fine. It's not a fucking long range rifle. I don't expect to plink someone from 1,000 yards away and take him down with a single crossbolt. So like every good buffet, mediums have been provided the ice cream machine and the pizza, two of the best items at any buffet. However, just like every good buffet, there's a fucking salad bar that has been untouched and unbothered since it opened. And you see that wilting pile of baby carrots over there that management desperately wants someone to eat so they won't have to throw away profits? That's the hover pad. Medium is now 2 for 2 on getting borderline fucking useless gadgets, and I gotta say, they must just have a kink for this shit at this point. Just be like, oh hey Medium, we got some new stuff for ya. It's a literal pile of shit. Shit, I don't know, maybe the hover pad is so bad that now the breach drill will actually get a third user. But all in all, a lot of the complaints that I've had about Medium in seasons past have been addressed in some way or another with either new content or with some balancing changes that we'll talk about in a minute. But they've genuinely brought Medium back into a place where I'm fine and happy playing a lot of things on the class. You know, not just the crossbow either. You know, I've been using a lot of AKM, some FCAR, some FAMAS. Shit, I've been even grinding with the Serb again. I haven't used the Cerberus since season 6, yo. Now, in terms of maps, Starlight Hollow is kind of a mixed bag. First couple weeks of the season, I thought Starlight Hollow was the best Point Break map, 10 out of 10, absolute fucking banger shit here, y'all. And there was no way you were gonna change my mind about that. Until you did change my mind about that. Now, we're at the point in the season where everybody has figured out how to spawn trap the shit out of the attackers on Starlight Hollow, and I've seen that map go from being a very 50-50, sometimes the defenders win, sometimes the attackers win, to defenders winning about 80% of the time. And the rebalance of getting coins after each objective instead of at the end of each round hasn't really helped that a lot. Now, the biggest reason that this map is a little disappointing to me is because it's not a full cash out map. It's just a straight line for Point Break, nothing else, and I gotta say, that's kind of disappointing. Especially when you consider that apparently they didn't even plan to release another map for this season. Point Break just took off so fucking hard that they felt like they had to. So if it wasn't for the fact that we started playing Point Break more than anything else in this game, then we wouldn't have gotten a new map this season. But seeing how quickly they were able to throw together this map, it really does make you sit back and think, why the hell don't we get more maps for the smaller game modes then? Point Break, Power Shift, Team Deathmatch, all three of these game modes can basically just have maps that are straight lines with different zones in them and be perfectly fine and serviceable. You know, why don't we get a new map for these smaller game modes each season? You know, I understand that it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to build a cash out map, but it does just go to show you that they can put in some fucking work and pump out something really, really good if they want to. Oh, and then don't even get me started on the people that are going,
"Aw, I can't play in the castle in the background? That's bullshit."
It's giving the same energy as the people that go to Disney and get mad that when they go to Cinderella's castle, they can't see the maids' quarters.
I don't want to just see the shopping center. I want to see where the servants live.
And Disney will never let you see that, buddy. But for real, it's a PNG in the background. It's no different than the fucking moon in the sky to most of you flat earth motherfuckers. And speaking of Point Break, Nozomi Citadel getting added as a Point Break map was a 10 out of 10 change. I firmly think now that Nozomi is the best Point Break map map aside from Cis Horizon. Still no Kyoto on Point Break though, which, I mean, hey, maybe we'll get that next season. Who the f knows? But either way, they've definitely put out some new playable content. They put out some new usable content, except if you're a light player, in which case you're still shit out of luck for the 3rd season in a row, buddy. Heavy also got nothing new this season, which is a bit of a bummer for them. In fact, they've gotten things taken away from them this season. We'll get to that in a minute. Oh, and head-to-head is gone now, finally. If you were one of the 3 people that liked head-to-head, why?
Oh, funny, it gave us a way to practice final rounds in a way that was fun and engaging.
No, it gave a way for Ruby teams to pub stomp, and you know it. Come on, y'all. Listen, we all firmly had caught on to the fact that Quick Cash was a cesspool for Rubies to just go and kill farm, and we decided to stop playing it. Ergo, they had to hop over to a new game mode to go ahead and ruin. And because no other game mode allows you to just infinitely farm shit like Quick Cash does, head-to-head was the next best steal. So, rest in piss, head-to-head. Do not come back ever. And other things on the content end, the Dragon LTM has been kind of fun. I've definitely played my fair share of games of it. I'll probably keep playing my fair share of games. It's a lot of fun. And then Respec Order, whether you liked it or hated it, it definitely gave a brand new feel to a lot of things in the game for the week that it was in Cash Out. And as I said in my Crash Out on the Cash Out episode about it, I didn't hate the changes, but I'm very aware that they are going to need to do some serious work in the balancing department to make it work if this is the direction they fully decided to go with the game. So at mid-season, content-wise, solid 7 out of 10. You know, definitely much better than we've had in seasons past. Still no Fangwise City for Point Break though, and I think that's a fucking bummer. But all in all, they've added some good things, and we haven't had an event that's just based around buying shit, so off to a solid start. Now in terms of balancing has also been a little bit of a mixed bag this season, depending on what class you mainly play. Mediums have been eaten good in the balancing department this season. AKM got the bullets back. FCAR got the fire rate back. Data Reshaper got buffed to reshape shit through shields. The turret buff, even though I kind of fucking hate them for it. The DMAT buff. I'm using air quotes because it's still janky as shit and they haven't fixed that, but at least they gave the 3rd ammo back. CL40 buff. A Pike buff that still hasn't made it fucking usable again. And a FAMAS buff, which, you know what, no air quotes for that. The FAMAS buff actually I feel like helps it a bit. So medium, y'all are eating good at that buffet. They got fucking chocolate and vanilla ice cream in that ice cream machine, and y'all are getting motherfucking twisted. And honestly, Light has gotten their landscape shaken up a lot as well. The dash nerf is now forcing Lights to not just fucking spam them over and over again, which has helped a lot. Grappling hook and cloak buffs have given a little bit more of a reason to use something other than the button. Double barrel got a little bit of a nerf. Haha, you double barrel players. The Matter got a buff. The 93R got a buff. Woohoo, another pet project gun buff. The XP got a buff and the Vanishing Bomb's gotten a nerf, so a couple of the toys on Light have been a little tweaked and changed. Not entirely sure how to feel about that M11 rebalance that they did with 10.6, but you know what? It is what it is. You know, point is that a lot of things in Light's sandbox have been tweaked a bit, and we are seeing a bit more variety this season compared to seasons past. Heavy though, after they got a really nice season with season 9, they have kind of gotten the shit end of the stick this season. The MGL got a buff that is supposed to help it to become viable on maps like Nozomi Citadel, and is a totally fair stepping stone on the way to the MGL rework. Minigun got an extra 50 bullets in the mag, giving it a pretty big buff. The Deagle's got a little bit of a buff, and the Spear got a buff, accompanied by a really passive-aggressive dev note about potentially changing the secondary fire, which, as you all know, makes me just go, All right, faces, it's time to get a lesson in the weapons of ancient history, because clearly y'all don't know what you're talking about here, okay? This is a spear. A spear is used for thrusting, swiping, slashing, and close-range combat. This is a javelin. A javelin is a much thinner, smaller stick that is used for long-range combat, such as throwing. Okay? A spear gets spun, swiped, slashed, and poked. A javelin gets thrown. You do not throw a spear, you throw a javelin. Okay? So, I don't want to hear any more shit about, let's throw the spear, because you do not throw spears. Y'all sound as dumb as Sneeko saying, watch my clips. So now that we have this lesson under our belts, can we please stop saying stupid shit like throw the spear? Okay? Now the biggest fucking problem that we come across with the balance this season is the fact that they have seemingly decided that goo stunning, a mechanic that has been in the game since its inception, is all of a sudden not intended and needs to be removed because it's tech. Look, Sloppo the Clown already made a big ass video about emergent gameplay. Man's only video turned out to be a fucking banger, so go ahead and give that man a watch and a view if you haven't already. But no, if it's been in the game this whole fucking time and people have entire strategies, well documented strategies around how to use goo in that manner, and it's never been mentioned that it's a problem before, maybe, just maybe, don't fuck with it, okay? Like, you guys are being overbearing fucking helicopter parents by removing anything that you didn't explicitly intend to be in the game. And this is just another example of, oh wow, we only want you to play in the sandbox with the broken, busted-ass plastic shovel that we said you could play with. Don't you dare use your hands to scoop up sand. You use that busted shovel and you fucking like it. But no, the other thing about the balancing this season is that their stance on tech seems to be getting a little more inconsistent. If you guys seem to remember, it seemed that the shockwave got shadow nerfed in 10.3 because you couldn't propel yourself quite as far with it. And everybody was like, oh no, Embark removing tech again, what the fuck? But then in 10.6, they unnerfed it and said, yeah, we did this because we felt it was tech and that it wasn't okay. But you know what? We're just going to go ahead and put it back in because it's not actually that harmful and we'll just, keep an eye on it. So I don't know. Maybe is this a sign that they're starting to mature and realize that it's okay if people figure out things in their game that they didn't? I mean, that's why you have a player base. Overall, in terms of balancing, there's been some good, been some bad, just enough of a shakeup to keep things fresh. And I've been enjoying using a multitude of things this season outside of the usual picks. So in terms of balancing, I'm gonna go ahead and give this another 7 out of 10. Now, in terms of cheating and smurfing, not a whole lot has changed. I made this joke in How to Save the Finals about anal bead controllers. The amount of telemetry that gaming companies alone take from your computer whenever you use it is kind of astonishing. Shit, I bet that if they could take data on whether or not you have a fucking polyp in your colon, they'd take that too. But they can't because we don't have anal bead controllers. Yet. And as it turns out, they are actually real. So everybody should start going ahead and turning in their colonic maps so that we can get over to the Futurama timeline, because I'm real sick of living in the fucking Fallout timeline, y'all. Okay. One big change that they made to ranked this season is there's no more duo smurfing. They have implemented a rule that if you and your duo are more than 7,500 RS away from each other, that you guys cannot party up anymore. However, that rule goes out the fucking window as long as you have a third, which I don't think takes it far enough. I think it should be that gap across all 3 players in your party. But because let's face it, how hard is it really to get a third person to get in on your fucking boosting shit? It's like asking a nicotine fiend if they want the mango jewel pods back. Duh. Now, I will say that I feel like it has helped smurfing in ranked slightly. I feel like I've been running into a few less obvious smurfs out there, but they're still running around everywhere being piss ants. And you know what? I'm going to say this. It's a start, but we need to not stop here. So, I mean, in terms of what they've done so far, 6 out of 10, okay? You did something, okay? You did something. Let's see how it plays out. Huh. If I had a nickel for every time there was drama surrounding a bunch of pro players, and then people started making videos about that pro player drama, and then Appo came in and made a video doing damage control and Embark made no official statement on the matter, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's a little fucking ridiculous that it happened twice. I'm gonna be honest, most of my problems with the game right now are circling around the pro scene and competitive play. Because look, we have seen in the past couple of months especially how this part of the community can just kind of be an absolute clusterfuck at times. And yet Embark is still seemingly throwing a lot of their eggs at the pro scene basket. I mean, hell, one of the major communications from the developers we've gotten this season so far has been the blog post about how to get to TGM 26. And if my thoughts are correct, that's going to happen during season 12, which is apparently supposed to be their soft relaunch of the game. So, I really just hope we don't end up getting another season 8 where the only thing in the game is, hey, the majors are happening, go ahead and play the game and be a pissant competitor about it while you watch the pros show you how it's done. I've already talked about how that would be a fucking death sentence to the game, and I'm gonna stand by that. And look, as for the pro drama, I'm not gonna get into the specifics about it. I am way too employed for that crap, so you have thumbs and eyes, probably. Go look it up for yourself. But no, in terms of ranked adjustments for the normies out there that just want to play ranked and get their gun skin and move on with their life, we did see a bit of an RS adjustment with the most recent patch and some minor tweaks to the ranked mode in particular this season. So I guess we'll just have to see how all of these changes play out. I'm feeling pretty similar about this as I was to the cheating and smurfing. 6 out of 10. They've done something, but I really fucking hope that they end up doing more and that they shift their focus from the competitive scene and back onto the wider player base. We finally have a roadmap, y'all. Now look, it's not a huge roadmap. It doesn't give us a ton of detail, but shit, it's better than let us cook. You know, I think I and everybody else had the exact same reaction when we saw that there was going to be the melee rework coming in Season 11 as a major piece of content. I then got even more disappointed when we heard that developer AMA a couple weeks ago. Video up above, go check that out if you haven't. But hey, all in all, I said I wanted a roadmap. They gave us a roadmap. The roadmap only has one stop ahead of it, so they're going to have to stick to their guns and keep their promises on that and give us an actual fleshed out roadmap for later down the line. But you know what? I will take at least a little preview of the next season over nothing. So, hey, there we go. And I will admit that, hey, you're finally awake advertisement. It did make me laugh the first time I saw it. So, hey, at least there's something out there that's trying to get new players in. They still need more marketing, and the roadmap is doing a lot of heavy lifting for this section. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another 6 out of 10. You know, they've done some things. They haven't done everything that they need to, but they're working on it. And as long as they're starting to work on it, I can't really bitch that hard about it. And we come back to the monetization. The shop is just as full of drip as it always is, and the drip is still drippy. There is a big concern that I have though right now, and that is that the Dragon LTM has brought the Wheel of Despair back. Now, I already made a whole video about how the Wheel of Despair is fucking bullshit and how it should never be in the goddamn game, but they have released a change with it this time around that allows you to earn golden tickets if you roll a dupe, and that golden ticket is apparently supposed to guarantee you an unearned item. So if I'm understanding this correctly, that means that we should potentially all be able to get everything that we want from the wheel in 7 days of playtime if we're earning 3 tickets a day. I'll deep dive into that in its own full-length video whenever the LTM is over, but for the time being, we potentially have ourselves a fix to the wheel that actually doesn't suck. Because hey, let's face it, if they actually reworked this to mean that you only have to play 7 out of the 14 days that the event is going on to earn everything, that is a huge step in the right direction for the consumer, and I would honestly have to give them some solid applause for that. You know, because I also do appreciate when they have those collection events where you just have to play every day to get your stuff. But let's face it, a lot of us are fucking busy. I know there's a lot of people that need the finals job fair to be a thing, but there are a lot of us that just log on after a long day of fucking being alive and being an adult and just want to kick back and relax. And a lot of us are busy and don't have time to play every day. So the fact that they're potentially making it so you only have to play for half of the event to get everything that you want out of it, I can't be mad at that. The other thing that I have noticed is that I feel like there's a lot more sales in the store this season. Like they're marking down more bundles and items than they have in seasons past. They always do something like this around mid-season where they give some discounts or, you know, towards the end of the season. But I feel like I've seen a bit more of it this time around than I have in seasons past. So maybe that's just me misremembering things, but you know, let me know down in the comments if you feel like they've run these sales like they have been doing before. And honestly, if they don't release another mini battle pass this season, monetization's gonna get a 10 out of 10 for me. You know, giving us a way to earn the free cosmetics from the event without needing to pay or play every single day, not releasing a mini battle pass alongside the regular full-priced battle pass, having some sales in the shop to go ahead and offer us some lower priced alternatives. You know, it's still microtransactions at the end of the day, but in terms of how they had been monetizing this game for the past 2 seasons, I gotta give them a thumbs up for that if these changes actually turn out to be as good as I think they are. So all in all, we're sitting pretty around the halfway point of this season. You know, they've still got 2 months to go where they could end up ultimately disappointing me, but I will say that I'm feeling a lot more hopeful about this season than I have been for the past like 6 months of playing this game. And although I am still not going to buy the battle pass yet until we get a little closer to the end of the season, I'm going to go ahead and say pretty solidly that if they keep going in the direction that they are, they will have re-earned my business for the time being. That's not to say that I'm just going to go back to buying the battle pass every single season in perpetuity. They have to continually earn my business by keeping this game flowing, keeping it consumer friendly, and ensuring that the casual player base still has things to look forward to and play outside of just popping open our wallet and getting the dopamine hit of wasting money. But as long as they don't crash and burn, Season 10 is on its way to being the best season since Season 7. But anywho, that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Big shout out to our Comedy Club members. It's your boy Jesse011, Fatal Sky09, Boom32, Layla Bell 1029, and Real Call Me Crop, who all got 2-day early access to this video by being members of the Comedy Club. If you're enjoying the channel and would like to support, be sure to go ahead and click the join button down below to join the Comedy Club. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.